Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Eddie Marcus again. I'm here because I gotta tell you some information that maybe you have already figured it out. If you haven't, then it'll be your first time hearing it, but here it is. We are, many of us, complaining about what's going on in the country. We are talking about it on social media, and those of us who got access to YouTube or some other outlet who can use our phones to make a post here and there, we're saying what we're saying. And we know we're basically disgusted, at least those of us who are speaking like this. But there's something that we fail to understand, is that America right now is ruled by evil. In other words, that's the way of saying that Satan has his grip on America. Or if you don't like the term Satan, maybe you'd say the devil has his grip on America right now. And it didn't just happen overnight. It's been coming ever since America has been here. And finally, it is here. It has a grip. So when we start talking about what's going on in the country, if we're talking about changing these people, we can forget about that. These people are there because they are agents representing all of the evil, and all, when I say evil, I'm talking about the pain and the suffering that the rest of this country, the citizens of this country, will endure just by the responses to the public from these guys who are representing evil. They do not know or have any interest in doing the thing that's righteous, about doing the things that's kind and loving and compassionate to not just themselves, but all people. They have no desire to do any of that. So we can forget about trying to encourage them to make a change, make a difference, or do the right thing. And when we watch our courts, how they respond, when we watch the news media, how they respond, we know how the news media usually responds. But during these times, the response that half of the nation expects the news media to do, they are disappointed every time. And so what seems to be evil, attacking and causing pain and suffering to the rest of the people of this nation, seems to be supported by the news media. And when we see these courts doing the same kinds of things, we see that happens. What happens is, if you got your court out there that supports the evil, and these guys get to that court, they're going to get through. And if they get to a court that does not represent so-called evil, who, for some strange reason, says we're going to stay this thing, it's not going to go any further now, at least not at this moment, then you go and appeal it, and you go right around it. So what I'm basically saying, ladies and gentlemen, is this, and I want you to know I'm saying this out of love. Evil is running this nation. Trump is the voice of evil. He's just the voice. All of the people, seemingly, and they know who they are, and many of you know who they are supporting exactly what Trump is doing. And when I say Trump, I'm talking about the Republican Party. I'm talking about the system that they are changing and bringing into being. And I'm saying that they are all crooks. We know they're crooks. They have been adjudicated as being crooks. And the things that they are doing are criminal, as crooks do. But these crooks did not just walk into office. These crooks were voted into office by other crooks. And when you put all of those crooks together, these crooks who wanted to lead and who wanted the power, and those other crooks who wanted them in so they can do exactly what they're doing, they came together and they overcame the rest of the people. And they crooks running the show. And we who say we're not crooks have to change our way of thinking and stop depending on anything from these crooks, but put our faith in what is right and let us do the right thing. Some of these people who are crooks because they've never seen righteousness expressed. They don't even know what righteousness is outside of a thought. And if it's righteous that we are representing, if we say we're not of the crookdom, because the crookdom has already lost, then we must stand up for what is right. And what is right? That which is fantastic for each of us as individuals is what's right. And we go forward. And our aim is to assure that each of us as individuals are satisfied, protecting one another, looking after one another. I don't know if that's asking anybody else who sees life as a crook, as the best way, who might want to change. That's up to you. But this is not a movement dependent upon you changing. Sure, if you change, the nation would be better. But what righteousness is not dependent upon anybody changing. Righteousness is righteous if nobody supports it. It's still righteous. And if you want the benefits of righteousness, you will support it. You will support it. If you want to get rid of war, if you want to get rid of crime and violence, if you want to get rid of lying and cheating, if you want to get rid of hatred and racism and bigotry, if you want to get rid of terror and war, you will try God. You will bend your knee, because you will have to recognize, once you do it to yourselves, that you are not the boss. Anyway, Ronald Reagan just came up on the screen, and I'm thinking about Ronald Reagan. But we'll talk about Ronald Reagan at another time. I want to thank you so very much for giving me this your time, and until next, goodbye for now.